Mm-mm-mm. Recording started. Recording started. I'm gonna scoot closer because I feel like I'm so far away from you. So anyway, hey everybody. Hey, single moms. This is Bess Parks, as you can see. Bess Parks. I changed the view to go up and down. It seemed like it was super wide on Facebook and everywhere that I posted it, so I decided to go with the um, vertical look, and hopefully that's a little bit better. I don't know because now it looks weird because now it's got all these black spots on the side. So let me see if it will let me flip it while I'm talking to you. Ooh, it does. It does let me flip it while I'm talking to you. So now the angle's off, the light's off, everything's off. So we're just gonna try to fix it as we go here. Mm. And it's been raining for a few days now here. Like, I don't know if there's like a tropical storm or whatever coming through, but that's kind of normal here in Texas. And my light keeps turning every time I'm turning it, it turns. So I'm fighting with it. Oh my gosh. What is happening, Captain? Oh Lord. Follow me. I know the way. Sorry. That's just my oh my gosh, that's my humor. And now my phone's gonna start being stupid. Ay, ay, ay. If there haven't been challenges in this, I'm telling you, this has been a challenge. Anyway, my name is Bess Parks. I am the founder and the CEO of Single Moms Level Up, as well as the Single Moms Club private Facebook group. So I'm coming here because this is day two of the Single Moms Level Up conference. So I like to say hashtag Single Moms Level Up, and that's what we're doing here today. Um, we're at a different angle, and as you know, there were some issues with the social media and some of the rules or regulations or whatever they do, the format that they set up or the stipulations that they have now set up is that you have to have so many followers, and even to go live on your own page, you have to have so many followers, and they don't let you do that anymore. So um, I really never focused on followers. I just, put the content out, and it was, it's okay that people follow me and everything, but I didn't focus totally on it. But now I'm gonna have to start sounding like the rest of the people and saying, hey, hit the subscription button and bell, and hit the bell so that you can be notified when I post new things, or there's another conference or some type of event going on, you'll be notified. So I'm going to start sounding like all those people. And now I know why they were saying that, because now I'm in the catch up mode and having to now start focusing on followers, and at least getting over that first hump, which is just to get 100 followers. So if I have 100 followers, I will be able um, to go live on the other platforms like YouTube and Facebook. And even in my own Facebook group, I can't go live in there anymore either, even as the administrator, which I just like, that's jacked up. That's really jacked up. So I guess they've been having some problems with people with, fraudulent things and getting all these things going on their platforms. So this is their way of trying to control that, basically saying, if you're going to go through all of that, we're going to check that too. And even my the recording that I posted, it took a while. It took a while for it to post. So that was interesting, because I kept an eye on that, because I really wanted to make sure that it posted, because I said it was going to. And that's the last thing I want to do, is say that I'm going to do something and then it doesn't happen. You know, uh, Being single moms, sometimes that's what happens with us, you know? Sometimes that's what happens with us is that we make promises to our kids and we can end up not being able to follow through, and it's not an intentional thing. It's just something that happens, you know, especially when we are not really financially literate or up on what all of our finances are and how to navigate that financial piece of our lives. We can often make promises of things that we're going to do for our children, and we don't get them done. Um, if we've never been taught some of the things, you know, financial literacy, and what is financial literacy? That's knowing the not just back in the day was knowing how to write a check and how to create a budget. Um, uh, and how to not live beyond that budget. But what they don't tell you is that sometimes when life hands you curves and whatever, what to do during that time. I was like, if you don't tell us how to get out of that stuff, how are we supposed to know what to do when those things come? So I didn't know how to get out of those things when things come. I wasn't. Um, I heard some of the things, but of course I was in my 20s, and so I made some credit card issues and never totally recovered from that. um, Other than the fact that I just really don't use credit cards. But now, you know, they're saying that that's part of your credit history that people look at for certain loans and things. That's when, you know, when you want to try to elevate into things like business loans and stuff like that, they're looking at your credit history as well. Your credit history, and it includes credit cards and payments and revolving. They want to see that you actually make payments. So it's not totally a smart thing to do to not have any credit cards whatsoever. Though I figured out that when you have a check credit card, a check debit card, or whatever they call it, but you know what I'm talking about, one of those checking account cards that have a Visa, MasterCard logo on it. If you use credit all the time, that will increase your credit. I didn't realize that's what it was doing, but I would use credit because I didn't want to put my PIN in. I don't want to put my PIN in. And then I was like, the PIN is to me is more invasive. An easier way for people to get in is that I'm dropping my PIN in everywhere. And so I wouldn't use the PIN, I would just do credit. And then of course keep track of my checking account um, as much as I possibly could. But then, you know, all these passwords needed to be remembered for everything, you know, and it started getting crazy when the kids are in school and they come in after school sports, and then there's, you know, school pictures started becoming way different, and then 2020 happened and everything went online, and all these, uh, passwords that you have to remember, and that was just a little much for me. So I got a little off track with my tracking my checking account online, but I would call, and you could, you know, still get the information on, you know, through a phone call and talking to an agent or whatever if you need to. But the main subject or the theme of this conference is getting your confidence back. So our confidence needs to come back in all those 5 areas that I talked about yesterday. Those 5 areas. Do you guys remember what they were? Do you remember what they were? Well, anyway, look at the video for day one, and I mentioned what all 5 of them are. Today we're on number 5, and that 5th one is financial. So our financial part of our lives needs to be needs to have a proper perspective of what it is and where we want to go and what our goals and our dreams are for those areas, and what are our courses of action. What are we going to do to get there? So also, if you're in the single moms club, I did drop the pages for Thursday in there. If you actually look at it, it's more than that, but you have to be in the single moms club to do that, and that is a free club, private Facebook group. You don't have to pay or anything to get in there. There's just 3 questions that we ask that you answer, and answer them honestly, so that we can serve you guys better. That's my new grandson in there hollering and screaming. I think he's hungry, but yeah, it's 6:30. He's hungry, but and he don't play with his food. Okay, get that bottle ready right now. Is what he's talking about. If you don't, I'm gonna lose it. But anyway, so our financial needs to be put together. And so I have to say that for me as a single mom in the past and for a while in the beginning, after I was no longer with my kid's dad, I was really looking for Prince Charming, somebody, it was before that, before I even had kids. I was looking for Prince Charming, somebody to come in on a horse and sweep me off my feet. We'd have kids and white picket fence and 2.5 kids and a dog. Not necessarily a dog park because I'm allergic, but I'm just saying. I was looking for that. And so I was looking for that. And when it didn't happen with my kid's father, I was really disappointed and actually kind of sort of traumatized. So I took some time off from dating, and it was actually about 7 years, and I did not date for 7 years. I knew that I needed um, to allow myself to heal. I didn't plan on it taking 7 years. Definitely did not plan on it taking 7 years. And when I heard this saying when I moved to Texas, and it said that as long as you've been with that person, it will take you that long to get healed from it. So we were together for 7 years, and I was like, what? I was like, that can't be true. That can't be true. I was like, how am I going to go 7 years? And I think at that point in time, I was at, see, 2009, 10, 11, I was at 4 years. So I'm like, 7 years, you mean 3 to 4 more years? It's like, you've lost your mind. But it did end up being 7 years before I started dating again. And this person was a little different, a little bit different, but um, different in a way that revealed some things to me about myself. Relationships, what we talked about yesterday, come to you to teach you about yourself. That includes our kids. So those relationships include our kids. Our kids come to teach us about ourselves. And as single moms or single parents, we get all the lessons from our kids, the whole thing. It's not divided between us and the dads. We get the majority of those lessons, and they come full force at us because we're by ourselves and we don't have somebody to necessarily talk things out with. Hopefully, you have some girlfriends that also are single moms. Um, that you can talk to, or somebody that you work with that's a single mom, somebody in your community that's a single mom, or maybe you met a single mom at one of the kids um extracurricular. I'm sorry, I heard a noise that didn't sound right. Okay. um that's that mother hearing I had to stop and listen. But anyway, so yeah, there it is. I thought so. um but anyway, oh wow. I'm sorry, my phone has been doing this weird thing. It's like since the last update, it won't run my videos when I'm in the middle of watching a video. It turns off and goes into sleep mode, and that's just like the dumbest thing. Maybe I need to restart my phone. I don't know, but that's what that was. That little blurb, and it switched me around and all that stuff. But anyway, um, sometimes life does that. Sometimes life will come in and try, the screen will go black, the scene changes, you're flipped around, and now you got to figure out how to get things back on track. Single moms, we do that all the time because when we don't have that other person that's there with us on a regular, 24/7, 365, it's hard. It's hard to make those decisions and know that you're making the right decision, but we do have to make those decisions. And that's where I offer, the single mom focused journaling method, to where we set goals for the 5 areas of our lives. We list out the 5 areas of our lives, and under each of those areas, we actually list some goals, the benefits of reaching those goals, and then courses of action that we will do in order to reach those goals. Um, it sets in our mind once we write things down as to what we have, what we're going to do. So, regardless of the fact that life is happening, in the back of your mind knows that you wrote something down that needs to be done. So I found that out through a therapist saying that once you write it down, your mind knows that there is something that you need to do. And so it will remember that. And in the back of your mind, it will always be there that, hey, I'm trying to reach these goals. These are the actions I was going to do. And you start looking for these opportunities. And if you don't remember what they are and you need to go back to them, and you start feeling like you're off track. That's why this journal is like a focus thing. Um, you can go back to the journal, read through those goals, read through those 5 areas and read through your goals and benefits of reaching the goals and your courses of action, and still and get yourself back on track. So usually in the front of the journal, I would write down, in there, I would actually put a line down the middle of the paper going vertically, cut, to break it in half, and across the top, I'd write a line. And then on the left side, I would put goals. And on the left side, I would put goals. And then on the right side, I would put courses of action. So then I would list, as Roman numerals, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I would leave like a whole page and possibly the page, about 2 pages, depending on the size of the journal. Like a journal like this size, um, I leave like 2 pages, the front and the back, for each area of my life to write goals, whatever. You may start off with just one goal. You don't have to have 50 million goals on there, because truthfully, if you got 50 million goals, you ain't doing those things. You're not doing them. That's too wide of a range. It's too much for you to focus on. It's too much for your brain to bring any type of focus when you have that many things on. I would say to not do more than 3 per area, but 1 per area is a good place to start. But you can do up to 3, and no more than 3 per area, because that's a lot. And yes, you're giving yourself, a whole year to get these things done. And this year can start at any time. It doesn't have to start January 1st. It doesn't have to start at the beginning of the year. It can start in the middle of the year. Whenever you restart your journal, that's when that year starts. Now, most journals, you're not going to make it through a whole year with one journal. You're going to end up with maybe two journals. Depends on how many pages. This journal here that I have is 162 or 65 pages. For me, because I write everything in this journal. Um, I write notes, notes from church. When I'm at church, I write down notes from some of the calls that I get on, for my inspiration, for things and groups that I'm in. I wrote down day one of this conference, my notes for what I was going to say. I wrote that down in here. So I write everything in these journals. So I oftentimes, when it's this small of a journal, I might end up with like three, maybe 4 of these, especially since I now write everything in here. I have to tell you, when I first started, I was afraid to do that, because I was like, what if somebody finds my journal? And I'm embarrassed as to what I wrote in that journal, because I also have journal entries in here of brain dumps that I do when my mind is just going too much and I need to get some stuff out of my head, and just write it on paper and then just let it go. So this way of journaling, it has helped me so much, because there's a reflection part of it too. So before you start with your new journal entry, you go back and read whatever it was that you wrote previously. And so what I've done, started doing, because I hadn't been doing that, and I realized I hadn't been doing it about a month ago. I was like, hey, I think I stopped, doing the reflection before I start writing. I would just go in and start writing. So that also stops you from writing the same exact thing, and that stops you from getting stuck, is what it does. It stops you from getting stuck. So sometimes as single moms, we can get stuck in our feelings and our emotions, And that doesn't help us. It doesn't help our kids. Doesn't help our how we work at work. That means we are in automatic mode. So when we're in automatic mode, most of the time, what will happen is we are not taking care of ourselves. We're not sleeping. We're probably worried about something. Um, all of those things come into play. Um, One thing that I heard today, and this is just totally off subject now, but because I wrote it down in my journal, so it's kind of not. But I wrote it down in my journal. I wanted to share this with you today. I heard I had watched the interview with Viola Davis and Oprah, and Viola Davis said that she tells her daughter that you are the love of your life. And I was like, wow, I'm the love of my life. I'm not looking for the love of my life. I am the love of my life. I was like, that's good. I like that. And so I wrote it down. Something else that came to me after I heard that was that because I'm made in God's image, I know this is true, that I am the love of my life because God is love. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so today is Financial Friday, is what I call it. And one of the things that I want to give you, single moms, as a tip for Financial Friday is this. Um, there is this is has to do with your health insurance or your insurance benefits at your job. So your insurance benefits at your job have a lot of jobs have the option of a flexible spending account or a medical expense account. I never knew what that meant. I just knew that they were trying to take extra money out of my check, so I declined. hmm I declined it, and I didn't figure out what that was until I was working at a job with a friend, and had this lady that I became friends with at this job, and she was asking her older brother about that. And he said, you have to be crazy if you're not doing that, because that's pennies on the dollar that they are actually going to give you an allowance that is not equivalent to what you put in. What you put in is usually less than a dollar. I think while I was at that job, it was like 53 cents out of every check. Um, so it was like 53 cents. So that's like, well, it's probably about $2, $2 to $3. So $2 to $3 a month. And I was getting a stipend, a medical, expense of 3,500. So what that is that anything that's not covered by your insurance would come. You could use this card, and they give you now a card, a credit card, that you can actually pay for any of the medical expenses. So that includes your dental, that includes medical, doctors, copays, and all that stuff. Those can be paid for. It includes um, a lot of therapist office will take those as well. We'll take that insurance payment as well, and you could use that for therapy appointments. Um, Sorry, my doorbell's going off here. Um, but you could use it for that as well. You could use it for a chiropractor. So I had started using a chiropractor when I got into a really bad accident when I first moved to Texas. I think, yeah, it was like in 2012. I got in a really bad car accident. I wasn't even driving, but it was a bad car accident in that I was injured really bad. I had a severe case of whiplash to the point that it was causing me very horrific pain to walk. The adrenaline was running so much that I didn't feel it initially, and it wasn't until um, the following day that I realized that I was having a problem walking, putting my clothes on, brushing my teeth. Everything hurt. Everything hurt. It hurt for me to sleep. It hurt for me to stand. It hurt for me to sit. It hurt for me to do everything. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't, I hope that I don't want to live the rest of my life like this. Um, so of course, I prayed that prayer, God, if you get me up out of this, I swear I'm gonna do better. And I did. I started, paying more attention to my health and everything. It was like, hey, I can't go out like that. I can't go out like that. But this is Financial Friday, so we're going to stick to the finances and not roll into the weight into the health portion of it. But the health portion of it comes with the finances. Your financial health is equivalent to your health of of you and your body. So those are equal to each other. So if you're not taking care of yourself, you're probably not taking care of your finances either. So you can do more and think better when you're taking care of yourself. So us as single moms, we tend to leave ourselves out. We tend to leave ourselves last, and we're the last people on the list. And really, we should be the first people on the list. And I'm talking to myself because I had only recently, probably in the last 2 years, had started making myself a priority. And the way that I had to do that was um, not. I had to work myself into it. It was not, I'm going to say it wasn't comfortable at first because I had not been in the past a morning person at all. I think children make you a morning person because you usually got to get up before they do to get things started and get things. Oh Lord, my son is calling me. Oh no. So my child is calling me, and so we're gonna have to cut this short. He needs to talk to me now. It sounds like it's kind of serious. Um, but Financial Fridays, take care of some finances. One of the things, and so that one with the medical insurance, you can't obviously do that until you have open enrollment. But when you get into it, check into the medical expense account or the flexible spending account and see what that is. They take out, so much per paycheck. It's under $3, $2 to $3 a month, and you'll get an expense of like 3,500. Now, this is one of those things that you got to use it or lose it. So, if it gets towards the end, go get a medical massage or something to that sort. Go to a chiropractor or whatever. Chiropractors have massage tables or massage chairs and things of that sort, and they can take care of that. Things that you buy medical wise, like bandages and things of that sort, also are covered under that. They give you a whole list of what's covered under that. And I would suggest you print out the packet that they tell you of what's covered and what's not covered. That has saved me with my dental because you can also use it with your dental. And so that is saving my dental because they tried to charge me for something that they shouldn't have been. And when I showed it to them and they looked into it deeper, they realized they weren't supposed to be charged me for that. So that's one of the things. And then get a savings account. I know we're supposed to be paying off debt and you might be, in debt and everything, but you can't get yourself out of debt unless you start saving. I didn't realize that and only got that information recently, probably within the past year, about saving. Um, Actually, I got that back in 2020 when I was going with His and Her Money, and I was working with them in their financial program. And they were saying that saving, pay yourself first. I didn't understand what pay yourself first. I thought pay yourself first was pay yourself first so you can go buy yourself some things. But that's not what they were talking about. They were talking about pay yourself first, which means get a savings account and pay yourself in that savings account. And put yourself and the expenses, the things that you want to spend, put those things in your expense side of your account but pay yourself first meant making a savings account. And so the way that I did that was where I didn't notice it, and where it was the easiest for me was to do my direct deposit and split it up. And so I have a percentage that goes into my savings account, and then the rest of it goes into my account where I pay my bills and everything. So try that out. Gotta go because my son needs to talk to me. Y'all heard that, and I'll talk to y'all later tomorrow, day 3. We have a guest coming on, and I hope that you watch this and are still getting the content across well through this recording, even though I can't be on live because of the situation. But anyway, hashtag single moms level up. Much love. Bye.